Hi, I'm Michael Newrock and welcome to the market analysis video for February the 2nd, 2018. I'm going to go over a bunch of charts and just take a look at what looks like a good opportunity and what doesn't right now. So let's start with gold. And I actually think that this is a pretty decent opportunity. It wasn't triggered off as a valid trade at the time of the moving average, but this trend follower has just turned green. 5 out of the 6 high time frames are green and pointing up. And we have a recent high here, which is a good point of reference. In addition to that, we've got a decent risk to reward here. So if we took a trade around now, we're looking at about 750 pips for the stop and over 1,500 for the recent high. So I'm going to take a trade right now. To do that manually, just click on the text button, which is in the insert menu. So this ABC little icon comes up. Just click anywhere on the chart and then type in go long in this case, because it is a long trade or a buy trade. Click OK, and there you go. That's been executed. We've got our stop just under the slow moving average, our first profit locking target here, our second one here at 1368, and the next one up at 1378. Now I can modify any of these targets. In fact, if you have the Trend Profiteer system, that's what I encourage you to do at all times. Take a look at every trade on its own merits, and customize it. I won't do that right now, but that is looking like a fairly decent trade right now. So euro, 6 out of 6 high time frames are pointing up. It's been going up for quite some time. If you got any of these ones in particular, then you would have been going really well. Right now, it's just too high for me. If we look at the daily chart, this is the 4-hour, of course. Daily chart here, you can see it's been going upward for quite some time, and the weekly chart also has been going up for quite some time, and you don't really get a sense of where you are until you look at the monthly chart, which is here. So there's still room to move, but I'll take it back to the 4-hour. But in my mind, I would look at waiting for some kind of correction before any kind of trade on this chart going long. The pound, okay, pound US. Now this also 5 out of 6 high time frames are pointing up. And if we look at the daily, we can see a similar chart as like with the euro. And on the weekly, we can see there that there is room to move, but just like the euro, for me, I'm not in this trade, and I'm not really interested in it at this particular time. So the euro pound, this would be an interesting one. Right now, it's looking at a downward move with 4 out of the 6 high time frames pointing down. If it moves down, then we're looking at a possible trade to the downside. So if we get a swing down, in other words, this histogram turns red, then it fulfills the criteria of a downward swing. The RSI is already below the 50, so we could get in around here and then move down. Now, if it continues to go up, then we'll see this change to start off with to a bidirectional signal. That's the blue double-sided arrow, and we could get a move to the upside. So right now I'm looking at being on the sidelines on the euro pound as well, but there could be a good opportunity either way. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Okay, the Aussie is 4 out of 6 are pointing up, but we have had a move to the downside, and if this moves a little bit more, then we will see a possibility of this H4 swing turning red, which would mean that there's a possibility of it falling further, and that's what I would be looking at this stage. However, trading is one of those things where you have to assess it on a regular basis. and be open to change. Always go, in the direction of the market. Make sure that your only loyalty is to go with the moves in the market and not what you believe should be happening. All right, Kiwi's looking really fatigued at the moment. It's had a couple of corrections here. It's moved up a long way. 5 out of 6 are pointing up, but I'd be expecting a fall, just like with the Aussie pair. Now this is the Aussie Kiwi. We've seen it move downwards for quite some time, so I'm not in this trade right now, but if it moved up and then we got a swing down, then there could be a possibility for a further downward move. Okay, dollar CAD, 6 out of 6 are pointing down, but again, the market has been arguably oversold. Right now, we're seeing this double bottom occurring. So if we get a move upward, then I'd be more inclined to be looking at an upward trade at this time, but there's quite a few things that need to happen before that occurs. So just just sit on the sidelines with this one, is what I would suggest, and possibly look at an upward move if this occurs. Changes to 3 out of the 6, at least 3 out of the 6 turning to green. Okay, dollar Swiss. Same thing as the dollar CAD. I'm not looking at any sells at this stage, although they have been doing extremely well. But right now, I'm looking for a bit of a reversal and a move to the upside. Obviously, at this stage, it's not really in position, but I wouldn't be selling at this point either because the move has already happened so much. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen is a trade that I posted in the chat room yesterday for a move upward, and I'm currently in this trade. We saw some action to start off with, and it was going really quite well. It went up about 40 pips up, and it's fallen since then, just above entry. But if we get a swing upwards, then I'm currently holding my position for these profit locking targets, and it could go further. Now, at the time, there were 3 out of the 6 higher time frames pointing up. This 4-hour swing was pointing up, but it has changed since then. Although, if we do get another movement up, this will go to 3 swings, or 3 out of the 6 high time frames pointing up. Okay, euro yen. I don't see any trades here. It's just moved already quite a bit. Pound yen, if you caught this one, then that was a great trade. There have been some great trades over the last couple of weeks, and it's just a matter of taking the ones that are most likely to succeed with the best risk to reward ratios and the best likelihood of success. So be discerning with your trades. Don't go for every one. That's all I can suggest. Aussie yen is very, very noisy at the moment. It's been consolidating and going back and forth, so I'm not in this trade at all. Kiwi yen has been going upward a lot more nicer than the Aussie yen, but again, there's no trade here that I can see currently. Swiss yen, if you took either this one or this one, then you've probably been doing really well with this. However, at this stage, it has moved quite a lot, so I wouldn't be looking at any trade on this at all. Perhaps next week we could be looking, if we get a correction, for example, and price moves down, then there could be a possibility for another upward swing. CAD yen has been moving upward, but not as strongly as the Swiss yen or the Kiwi yen or Euro yen or pound yen for that matter. But currently no trade that I like the look of. Euro Aussie, this was a great trade over here, the most recent one, moving upward and hitting about 180, 190 pips currently. So if you caught this one, congratulations. This has been a really nice trade. It actually has moved directly up. So it's been a really nice, very low risk trade. Pound Aussie as well has gone upward for quite some time, and right now is not really the time to be looking at a new trade. But if you have taken the most recent trade, then congratulations on that. Euro pound, this is a bit more interesting, but still I don't see any real trade here. We've got to get the trend follower to change to green, and there's not a lot of room up here for this recent high. Okay, pound, kiwi. Again, this is looking a bit messy, so I'm not in this trade. Aussie CAD has been moving down for a little time, and I know a couple of you in the chat room have posted that that you took this recent sell trade and have been doing well. So congratulations with that. I'd expect to see further falls with this pair. We've had a consolidation over the last 4 hour pairs, or bars rather. But if we get another swing down, then there could be some good opportunities of moving further. Okay. Kiwi CAD is looking really like a bit of a failed upward move at the stage. It's been consolidating since, so I would be looking at the possibility of a new trade forming, maybe to the downside, but for now I'm not in this trade. EuroCAD again, it's just been really the story of the last couple of weeks. Has been a lot of movements, but right now we're not looking at the best of times for many of these pairs. We need to see some correction before there's a possibility of getting back into the trade. Pound CAD, same thing here. I mean, if you took any of these three, then you would have done exceptionally well. But right now, I'm really on the sidelines again of which direction this is going to go. There's no real strong indication here. 4 out of 6 high time frames are up, but again, it's just moved so much already, so I would not be in that trade. Aussie Swiss, same thing here. These ones have all gone extremely well. So essentially, if you've been watching if you've been doing a study and you've been watching the alerts, taking the trades that that are most likely to succeed, this one would have been a good one, obviously, and it has gone well because it was so high. So a downward move at this stage was a potentially good trade, and it turned out that way. This one was a good one as well because it was not too far from the inception of the trend, and these two a little bit further away, but after this really slow drifting upward consolidation, slight correction, so they've done extremely well. But if something comes up now, then I wouldn't be interested to the downside because it's already moved so far. So Kiwi Swiss, again, this one is already moved. There's no real trade in this at this stage. CAD Swiss, once again, we've had a lot of success with these signals, but I'm not cherry picking these signals. And as you can see through the charts that I've been going through, which are over 20 on my platform, there's a high likelihood of success. Just make sure that you take the trend trades, that have the most likelihood to succeed, and are at points which are going to support that whole concept. So in other words, you want to buy the dip and sell the high, and the swings here have been going extremely well as well. But right now it's already moved, so I don't see any trade in there. This is an interesting one. Euro Swiss may move to the upside, and if it does, it might be one that I'd be interested in because we're going to have the possibility of an upward signal. If this changes to a moving average crossover to the upside, we'll have 4 out of the 6 higher time frames pointing up, and we're really at a low point here on the chart, so there could be some good possibilities there. And pound Swiss there, it's been a bit messy. I don't see anything. So just going back in reverse, no trade here. Euro Swiss, look out for a trade to the upside potentially, but wait for the trend trade to occur. You could say that about the CAD Swiss as well. Wait for this consolidation to occur. If you get a good move to the upside, then and all the indications are there, to make a trend trade to the upside valid, then it could be a good possibility. Kiwi Swiss, not really so much. Aussie Swiss, no, there's too much momentum in this as compared to something like this, which has been very consolidation in nature, and this one. So what have we got? Pound CAD, no. Euro CAD, no. Kiwi CAD. Right now, let's see what happens. It's moving down at the moment after this consolidation. So Aussie CAD, that's definitely still a good one for moving down. Pound Kiwi, it could move up, but I'm not really interested in this at this stage. Euro Kiwi, again, there's not really a lot of room to move. I don't really see the risk reward there. This one was a good one, Pound Aussie. Euro Aussie was a good one, but not now. As far as new trade, CAD Yen, no, I'm not really willing to make any suggestions on that. Swiss Yen's moved up. Kiwi Yen, it's still moving up, but it's been a little while since this, since the original trend, so I wouldn't really be in that. Aussie Yen possibly moving down. Pound Yen and Euro Yen have both moved up, so wait for a correction there. We'll see how this goes with the dollar yen. Dollar Swiss, there could be a possibility to the upside. Just wait to see movements and a valid trade forming. Same with the dollar CAD. There could be possibility there. Aussie Kiwi has already gone. Kiwi, I'm not really interested in that. Aussie, to me, it's looking more like a possibility to the downside, but we'll see what happens. And Euro Pound, again, possibly to the upside if that occurs. Pound and Euro, I'm not really interested in at this stage. And of course, gold, which is where we started this video, looking as a possibility to the upside. So make sure that you pop into the chat room, come say hello, and participate. There's a lot of active traders in there, and together, hopefully over the next few days, we'll see some great trade opportunities and be able to take advantage of them and make some pips. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, don't take every trade alert that that occurs, and try to be as discerning as you can with those trades. So until next time, good trading, live well, and I'll see you soon.